it's about resolving that query first time. But I don't want to have to call you back. I want to trust that you did what you'd say you would do. I don't want to have to call you back to chase you to do something for me. I focus on the quality of the interaction, so how you speak with someone. Do you give them the right information? Do you show empathy in the way you deal with your customer? Do you relate to your customer? Can you change the way you approach that situation depending on that particular customer's needs? Do you understand what they are? So I guess the overall measure we're looking at is how easy are we to do business with? And if you have to keep calling me to chase me to do it, and when I speak to you in a way that you don't understand or in a way that's not helpful to you, frankly, I'm not delivering all the things that you need. One of the challenges that we face in that situation is that customer expectations grow and grow. The big challenge is understanding what a customer wants and being able to deliver that with all the different constraints we face. So our customer journey does two things. One is it looks at all the potential interactions we may have, all different processes, and how do we make those positive experiences, first thing. We then secondly look at all the things that are important during that journey to a customer, and how do we maximise that relationship that a customer wants to stay with CPP for years. Okay, I think the way businesses measure customer satisfaction is one of the reasons. So I think the example I gave to you earlier is that a lot of customer satisfaction is measured around how quickly the call was answered and statistics like that. Secondly, customer satisfaction is usually done at a very broad level, i.e., generally we've interviewed 100 people who said this. We tend to do things more than that. So we will not only look to interview people, call 50, 100 customers a month to get feelings on the service, we also are implementing an IVR solution, which means at the end of the call you're offered the chance to feedback on what you thought. The reason that's important is it tags straight back to the person who that call was with. So you can separate how much of that call is about a process issue or a positive process, and how much of that is about the agent experience that we delivered. And the way to differentiate CPP is about our skill set and our customer experience. That's our battleground. If we don't get that right, CPP's business growth will be seriously impacted long term. And I think that in the market we're in, if you can't differentiate yourself, then in a market where the margin is very much under pressure. So it's very important for CPP that we do this, that customers are becoming more choosy about when they contact and how they contact people and which channels they use. Do they want to use the web, a phone, and do they want to be contacted on their terms? And as these things come into play, it's very important that your contact centre can deliver the right experience, because this could be our one-touch moment with that customer. So that's why a contact centre is a strategic asset. It's our opportunity to cement the customer relationship with CPP. For me, you've got to decide firstly what it is you're trying to achieve as a business. So what is your goal, and what level of customer experience you want to give? Is it going to be a world-class customer experience, and can you afford to do that? Or is it something that's fit for purpose for your market? That's the first thing you've got to decide. And then you've got to align all the different objectives of your stakeholders. So you have a customer group, you have your colleagues, the people who work for you. So, and then aligning everything to deliver that. So customer satisfaction is about setting out a vision. Then how do you make it happen? So what's your management culture? What is your remuneration? What is your training? What is your recruitment plan? You have to align all of those things if you're going to deliver the right level of customer satisfaction. Because it's very easy to say, this is the customer satisfaction we want to deliver, but it's making that happen. And it's not simply about the quality of the call and just measuring that. You have to do all the other things, align your processes. So for example, we have very much worked on developing our customer contact and how we deal with our customers. And so one of the things that we now have done is change the profile of recruitment, having looked and identified which people deliver the right experience to our customers, and saying what do they look like, and replicating that back in our recruitment. It's going to that depth of thinking, and it's not an easy thing to do, but that's the approach you have to take. In terms of doing that, you will go through a selection criteria. You create a long list of the people you'd look at first. So one will be about the financial size of an organisation, their experience, their status of their assets. So is this someone who will be in business in another 2 years' time? So you look at factors like that to get a longer list of people who would be of interest to you against the criteria. The next step you then go through is say, okay, how do I get to a short list? You typically will identify what it is you want from that service and how you measure it. And then you will set out a series of questions for an organisation to respond to you on. It's called a request for proposal. After you receive that, typically what you will do is score those in a number of criteria. So their people, their culture, their strategic vision, the capability of their management team, what's their innovation, what's their unique selling point, what makes them better than someone else. And what you will do is go through that process and score it and then say, okay, there's 100 people we've spoken to. Out of that, we've got 5 people left we really want to see in some detail. And then you send them out some really detailed due diligence type questions, which is, talk me through your coaching methodology, talk me through how you train people. How do you embed this in your business? You tell me you're great at people management, or show me writing how. Typically, a week later, you will then sit down with those people and you told me all these things, I want to see it. And then what you do is you interview people at every stage of the organisation, because the management team will tell you they're great at everything, and they tell you all the processes that exist. But what you really want to know is it true? So you then speak to the managers who manage that business day to day, and then you speak to the people who actually are making that happen. So there could be the people making those calls or taking those calls. Having done all of those things, you'll score it and come down to a choice of 2. What you then do is do some random client referencing as well. And then you make your final consideration, which is, apart from the price on the table, is that right? And can they deliver the service for you? Can you work with them? Because sometimes you can find some really good people, but the 2 management teams will never work together successfully. And you have to take that into account. Otherwise, you will have a business that fails. And I guess the last thing you need to add to that is always show someone the contracts you want to work to early. Because the big learning I've always had is that if you don't show someone the contract to you down to 2 people, you typically find that this takes a long time. And secondly, there may not be things that they will want to do that you would expect. And if you haven't given them an idea of your ethos up front, it means it's very protracted at the end.